If you're like me and you believe that this is the year when the U.S. economy picks up some speed, not too hot, not too cold, then you're going to want some cyclical smokestack stocks in your portfolio. Because when the economy improves, these smokestack names can produce some truly spectacular earnings growth. And higher earnings are the key to higher stock prices. With that in mind, let me introduce you to someone that you haven't heard from on CNBC before. It's Worthington Industries, WOR. It's a $2.9 billion company, and it's a market leader in value-added steel processing, particularly flat-rolled steel and steel for the auto industry, as well as being a big player in pressure cylinders and custom-engineered operator cabs for heavy equipment like earth-moving machinery. Plus, just yesterday, we learned that Worthington is acquiring a 75% stake in Aratos. That's a leading European maker of liquefied natural gas products and cryogenic containers based in Turkey. Now, Worthington reported a really fantastic quarter back on December 19th. The earnings were in line, but the company's steel processing business, its largest division by far, put up some very strong results on top of the ones that had been previously reported. And as the economy continues to improve, I think Worthington will keep doing better and better. Let's welcome John McConnell. He's the chairman and CEO of Worthington Industries. Find out more about his company and its prospects. Mr. McConnell, welcome to Mad Money.
Jim, great to be here.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. We are always talking about companies that can change their stripes and how hard it is. You went from being a kind of plain old boring company in a very rapid time to being a great growth company, doubling, more than doubling in the last year.
That's right.
How does a company change its stripes?
Well, we did it a number of different ways. We've really been working on it for a long time. Cylinders was always a pretty steady animal in our portfolio. We kept expanding in and around it, looking for companies that bent steel, welded steel, did things with steel, so we could leverage our purchasing power. And we just kept driving forward. We got some great people. We got a great acquisition team.
Including people who seem to know exactly how to get more and more into LPG, into the CNG area that we spend a huge amount of time on this show. Looks like that you're really making a break into that business.
Yeah, we really are in that space heavily. We're all around alternative fuels in the LNG space, from transporting, making the tanks that go in transportation, to being out in the field with mixing stations and separators, and into the transportation side of it. Well, we've got the space pretty well
We've
covered.
been big backers of Chart Industries, of Cheniere, which has been incredible, and all the companies that are trying to use surface fuel and natural gas. What's the real hope here? Do you think it's just pie in the sky for the U.S.?
I do not.
You don't?
No, I mean, I think this is an abundant fuel. It's clean. It makes perfect sense that we ought to be using it. We ought to be developing an infrastructure so that we can get it more into the transportation side of life. Europe is much further down the road on that than we are. But because it's cheap, abundant, and clean, I think we ought to be, the government ought to be supporting a much bigger, quicker move into making it work for cars.
Totally agree. Just completely agree. In the meantime, you still have substantial auto business. The auto business looking at $16 million for statistical auto numbers. Do you need it to go to 17 to 18 million to maintain this momentum?
We do not.
Okay.
I think it will. I agree with you and your outlook on the economy. I think
good.
it's going to continue to improve and get a little stronger. But we love the transportation business and love the automakers.
On Thursday, we're going to hear from Alcoa. And every time I'm on Alcoa's call, they're always talking about the lightweighting of vehicles. The sub-rosa text, we're going to kick steel out and put out aluminum in. Can aluminum take over what you've got in cars?
It can't from a pricing standpoint. So could it make a move? Yeah, but I think the further they go down with CAFE standards, the further they use aluminum, they use carbon fibers, they use all those different alternative materials, cars will become so expensive people won't be able to buy them, is my fear.
Well, that's interesting to say that. Now, on the service center business, that's good. We've got really good LNG, but, you keep talking about in your Mark Russell, your excellent president, weak North American commercial environment. That's from December of 19. Any chance that can change? Because, boy, we got a lot of companies that could do really well if that business turns.
Yeah, you're on engineered cabs?
Yes.
Yes. I think, it's always been a cyclical business. I think, yes, it's going to change. Clearly, they overbuilt for a while.
Yes.
Adjusting inventories. And we're seeing signs now that as they work through that, it's starting to pick back up. And I think we have great opportunity to make that a better and better business from an earnings standpoint.
Okay, one last question. We've been involved with Timken, which has been a huge disappointment, frankly, because they really did a terrible job in the quarter, but they're splitting. Is that the kind of thing, once they split up, that you would look at the pieces of?
Hadn't thought about Timken in that sense. Probably we would take a look at it. My guess is there probably wouldn't be much there for us.
Interesting. Okay, fair enough. Not that much there for anybody, including my charitable trust, which is a shareholder. Anyway, that's John McConnell, Chairman and CEO of Worthington Industries, WR, company that's changed its stripes, that is a growth business in the steel industry, and by the way, the best performing steel stock in the world. Stay with Cramer.